Hi yogis, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to our Zen Yin community. Today's practice will be focused on opening up across the chest, the collarbones. So if you tend to have any tightness in your chest, maybe from working at your desk a lot or being on your phone, we kind of are all in that place where we're spend a lot of time on our phone or some sort of device and we're kind of hunching forward. And this is just an opportunity to open up the chest, kind of really breathe into the space of the heart. And as well as focusing on the upper back as well, because that can also get tight if we're compensating in some sort of way. So allowing the body to open up today. Our props will be yoga blocks, a blanket or a beach towel, something that you can roll up kind of tight as we're going to come to lay down on it across the back. And most of our poses will be yin, considered yin poses. There will be some others that will be more like a gentle yoga, but mostly all yin. So let's get started, my dears. You can just place your blocks off to the side and grabbing your blanket or your towel, whatever you're going to be using. And then we just want to roll it up really tightly, like a little burrito. So as tight as you can get. And then you'll come to place it at the back of your bolster, or if you're just on the floor, it'll be back behind you because you're going to come to lay over it. And then you can bring your blocks to the sides of you. And then just lowering yourself down, nice and easy here. You want the blanket right at the shoulder blades. So half of the blanket, like the bottom tips of the shoulder blades, and then the other half off of below the shoulder blades. Sorry, kind of hard to describe that, but wanting to make sure it's in the right place for you. And then just lowering yourself down. So this is a very deep chest opener. So you're probably going to feel this, and it might feel really odd to have this blanket in the upper back area here. Now with the legs, you can either walk the feet out a little further than hip width distance and let the knees fall in towards one another, or you can bring them into Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. And this is where you could use your blocks as well as placing them underneath the thighs or the knees. And then the arms can either be up overhead, or you can bring them into cactus arms, or straight out to a T, whatever feels most comfortable for you here and where you're finding your edge. So feeling that opening across the chest as well as the upper back. And once you settle here, one other little tip, if this is having the blanket rolled up, the whole blanket rolled up is a little bit too intense for you, you can always unroll the blanket a bit and then kind of just lay on the extra part of your blanket. So remember, in our yin practice, we want to find our edge. So that being on a scale of 1 to 10, being at about a 5. So modifying where necessary for your body. And once you get settled here, let's take a cleansing breath, breathing into the heart, the chest, the lungs. Feeling the upper back press into the blanket as you breathe in. And as you exhale through the nose, letting there be softening. And we want to allow the upper body, the shoulders to get heavy. And as though they're just falling towards the earth. Taking a breath into the belly and the lower back. And And on this exhale, letting the belly soften, letting the lower back release, the glutes. Very common for the lower back or the glutes to want to hold or grip here. And we want to give them permission to release so that the body can open up. And releasing any tension in the jaw or in the brow. Slowing your breath down, noticing the rise and fall of each inhale and exhale. And bringing a mantra here into our practice. With each inhale, I open. And with each exhale, I soften and release. Just noticing each inhale as the body fills up and expands and opens. And with each exhale, giving the body permission to soften and release. Let's take about another 5 breaths here. Last breath. Cleansing inhale and exhale. Inhaling to the chest and the belly. Fill up, fill up, fill up. And then big open mouth exhale. Letting that upper body sink down even more. Very good. And if you were in your butterfly pose, we will bring the hands to the thighs or to the knees and gently bring the knees in towards one another. And then we'll all bring our feet about hip width distance. And we're going to press the hips up very slowly to take the blanket out from underneath us. So take an inhale, press into your feet, lift up the hips, and then lifting them up enough so you can bring your blanket or towel out from underneath you, and then lowering down very slowly, upper back, mid back, lower back, and then the hips. And then just allow yourself to settle here. You can bring the arms back into cactus or out into a T. Feeling that upper back, the openness in it, feeling the openness across the collarbones, across the chest. those shoulders sink down to the earth. Let's take one more breath here. Good, then bringing the arms back to the body. From here, we'll make our way into a rooted twist. So you can extend that left leg all the way up, and then let's cross that left leg over the right. Press into that right foot, lift the hips up a bit, shift them over to the left, lower the hips down, and now open your arms out to a T, palms facing up, and then lower the legs over to the right, and you can bring a block underneath that left knee or thigh. Because the focus isn't so much about letting the knees come all the way to the floor as it is to keep that left shoulder blade and shoulder to the floor. So we want to be focusing on opening up across the collarbones. So collarbones are up towards the ceiling. Good. And let's take an inhale to the chest. On the exhale, focus on letting that left shoulder release even more, and then feeling both shoulders just sink down. And then to bring some attention to the lower body, let's take an inhale to the belly, to the lower back. And as you exhale, softening the belly, releasing the lower back, releasing any hugging or activation going on in the legs here. This is where we want to allow the block to support the legs so that the legs aren't feeling like they need to do any work here other than be in this releasing pose. Maybe it feels good to even look over to the left. With each inhale, I open. And with each exhale, I soften and release. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath, cleansing inhale and exhale. And imagine you can send the breath right into the whole left side of your body. We're filling it up, using the breath to cleanse the body. On the exhale, open mouth, releasing anything that's been stagnant or stuck here in the body. Very good. Let's bring the arms back to the body. Extend that right leg out. Bring that left knee into your chest. Roll onto your back and then bring the right knee in and gently rocking side to side. And then we'll make our way into a rooted twist on the left side. So left foot to the mat, crossing that right thigh over the left. Press into the left foot, lift the hips, shift them over to the right, lower the hips down. Arms out to your T, and then allowing the legs to just fall over to the left. Using your block here. Leveling out the shoulders. So notice if maybe one shoulder is higher than the other here. You want to do your best to have the shoulders be even or aligned with one another. Taking that inhale into the chest and the lungs. Exhale. Letting that right shoulder sink down. Inhaling to the belly and the lower back. And exhale, releasing the belly, the lower back, the glutes, the legs. Always searching for where you can soften and release even more. And without moving the body, other than internally with your breath. And last 3 breaths here. On this breath, taking that cleansing inhale and exhale. Inhaling this time to the right side of the body, filling it up as much as you can. Big open mouth exhale. And bringing the arms back into the body. We'll extend that left leg out. And then very slowly bringing that right knee in, rolling onto your back, bringing the left knee in as well, and rocking side to side. And from here, we're going to transition over onto our belly. I'm just going to move my blocks out of the way here. So you can lower your feet down. And as though you're coming into fetal pose on the right side. So just pressing into your feet, you can shift the hips over, making your way somewhat into fetal pose, and then gently making your way down onto your belly. And we'll come into Sphinx pose. So I like to have my feet about the width of my mat. I tend to have a little bit of lower back issues, so This kind of just opens up the lower back for me a little bit more. If you don't have any lower back issues, you can keep the feet in closer towards one another. And then we want to have the elbows and the arms about shoulder width apart. Take an inhale, reaching, so you're pushing into the forearms, lifting the upper body up, and then as though you're trying to slither yourself forward, sending the heart forward. And now give a gentle tuck of the tailbone towards the heels. Just enough to you feel the pelvis gently press into the floor. And we want to focus on being able to do this without clenching the glutes. Trying to reach or send the shoulders back. Let's just take 5 breaths here. Focus on breathing into the belly. Last breath here. Big open mouth exhale. Very good. Let's just stack the hands on top of one another. You can rest your forehead on the hands. And we want to release the lower back here. It might feel good to kind of just shift the hips side to side, releasing the lower back. Very good. And from here, we'll come into a little bit of a deeper chest opener. So bringing the legs back in towards one another if you have the feet wide. And extend the arms out to a T. Bring your right cheek to the floor. So both arms are out to a T. And now you're going to bring that left hand in closer towards the chest. And bend in the elbows, yep. And you're going to use that left hand, roll on to your right side, keeping that right arm extended just as it was. So you're probably feeling this already in that right shoulder. Now you can stay here, or if you'd like to come a little deeper into this, you'll bring that left foot behind the right leg. So the foot is flat to the floor. Yeah. And holding here, or maybe you open up that left knee a little more and feeling that opening through that right shoulder, the front of the shoulder. And just slowing the breath down here. Giving a quick scan of your body, noticing any parts where you may be holding or gripping and somewhat compensating, because this is a bit of an intense chest opener, shoulder opener. And if you have that area of your body where you are holding or compensating, doing your best to release that. We'll take 5 more breaths here. Slow the breath down. Sometimes when we're in an intense pose, our Breath count will get really quick as we're trying to eagerly get out of the pose. And last breath here. Now, if you had that left foot behind you, I want you to very, very carefully come out of this pose to support the lower back. So we're going to hold the upper body here with our left hand, and then you're just going to very, very slowly lower that left knee towards the floor, and then extend that left leg all the way out, and then very slowly roll onto your belly. And let's extend the arms out. Taking one more breath here. And we'll make our way to the other side. So turning your head, so the left cheek is to your mat or to the floor. And then we'll bring that left hand in towards the chest. Right hand. And bringing your right hand in, pressing into that right hand as you roll onto the left side of your body. And then either staying here, or maybe you bring that right foot back behind you. And let that right knee open up if that feels okay for you. Slowing your breath down here. And checking in with your body. Noticing where there may be some resistance. As you inhale, using our mantra, I open. And as you exhale, I soften and release. And letting your head be heavy as well. It's very common for the neck to somewhat be engaged here, kind of holding the head, holding the upper body. We want to give the neck permission to release and soften as well. Let's take 5 more breaths here. And last breath. Big open mouth exhale. And just as we did on the other side, if you had that right foot back behind you, we want to very slowly lower the right knee towards the floor, holding the upper body up, extending that right leg, and then coming onto the belly. This time, let's stack the hands on top of one another, just like we did before, resting the forehead on the hands and gently rocking side to side, releasing the lower back. And then just allow yourself to be still for a full breath. And we'll come to press ourselves up into tabletop. So bring the hands underneath the shoulders, pressing into your hands and bringing the knees in, coming into tabletop here. Just going to move my hair out of the way. If you have sensitive knees, you can always use your blanket or your towel here underneath the knees. And let's bring the big toes to touch and widen the knees. And we're going to come into thread the needle. Pressing into your right hand, inhale, reach that left arm up, opening up the chest as much as you can. And then exhale, we're going to thread that left arm through, coming onto that left shoulder, bringing the left temple to the floor. You can keep the right hand where it was, or maybe you extend it out towards the right corner of your mat. And then you can press into that right hand to support rolling onto that left shoulder a little deeper. Letting go of any tension in the jaw. Breathing into the upper back as well as the right side of your body. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. And if you had that right hand extended, or right arm extended, excuse me, bring it back, press into that right hand. We'll come back into that chest opener by inhale, opening up that left arm. And then exhale, bringing it down. Nice, making our way to the other side, pressing into the left hand, inhale, extend that right arm up, open up, and then exhale, threading it on through. Coming onto the right shoulder, the right temple, and maybe extending that left arm out. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Last breath. And bringing that left hand back in. Pressing in that left hand to lift yourself up. Inhale, reach that right arm up. And then exhale, bringing that right hand down. Let's walk the knees in towards one another. And now grabbing one of your blocks, we're going to come to sit on it in hero pose. So you'll just come to bring it between the ankles and come to sit on it for some support here. You can have the knees aligned with the hips. And just coming into a little bit of a back bend, the chest opener here. So clasping the hands back behind you, interlacing the fingers. Take an inhale, lengthen up nice and tall as you extend the arms down. And we really want to focus on drawing those shoulder blades back towards one another. So as though you have a pencil between the shoulder blades and you're trying to hold that pencil there. And really important here though that we don't send the rib cage forward. We want to pull the ribs in, knit the ribs in towards one another, and then tuck the tailbone towards the floor. So we're supporting the lower back and really just focusing on opening up across the chest, the collarbones, the shoulders. If this is a little too intense to hold the hands in this way, you can just bring the palms of the hands to the lower back near the sacrum, but the focus on continuing to draw those shoulder blades back towards one another. Breathing into the chest. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Taking a cleansing breath, inhale through the nose to the chest to the belly. Big open mouth exhale. Slowly releasing the hands, releasing the arms. Let's just do a few shoulder rolls here. Good. And reverse. Very good. Let's come up off of our block. So you can just come to your tabletop, take that block out from underneath you, and then just come to a seated pose. So we're going to be ending our practice in a seated pose. As we started down supine and made our way back up, and this will just allow you to kind of spring into the rest of your day and hopefully feeling this nice chest opener, some release of the shoulders and any tension held here. But let's just end with a little neck release. So sitting up nice and tall, take an inhale to lengthen. Exhale, right ear to the right shoulder. Breathing into the left side of the neck. And just notice if your shoulders kind of shifted, maybe one got higher than the other as you came into this neck release. We want to focus on gently gliding the shoulders down the back and having them be even. Last breath here. On your exhale, gently rotate the chin towards that right shoulder. So now feeling this deep stretch in the back side of the neck. And then on your next exhale, we'll rotate the chin all the way towards center of chest. Very important here to make sure that the shoulders don't round forward or you don't hunch forward. We want to keep the posture nice and lengthened through the spine, and then just allow those shoulders to round back and down. So as we allow the head to get heavier, the chin dropping towards the chest even more, you'll feel this deeper stretch in the back of the neck, the tops of the shoulders, the whole trapezius muscle. Let's take a cleansing breath here. Then to support the head, we want to bring the right heel of your hand to the forehead and using the strength of your hand to lift the head back to center. Good. Releasing that right hand down. Just taking one breath here, noticing how one side of the neck feels to the other. And then we'll make our way over to the other side. So inhale to lengthen. Exhale, left ear to left shoulder. Noticing any change in the shoulders here, aligning the shoulders so that they're level. Notice if you're holding any tension in the facial muscles or the jaw. And letting that go. Last breath here, big inhale. Exhale it all out. As you continue that exhale, just gently rotate the chin towards that left shoulder. And on your next exhale, rotating the chin once again towards the center of your chest. Making sure that your posture didn't change. Let the head be even heavier. Tucking the chin towards the chest. Breathing into the back of the neck, tops of the shoulders. Last breath here, cleansing inhale and exhale. And we'll use our left heel of the hand this time to the forehead, lifting the head back to center, releasing the left hand down. Just taking a few breaths here. Notice all that tension that was held in the neck and the shoulders being just melting away. Let's bring the palms of the hands together, Anjali Mudra at the heart. Taking a cleansing breath here. And I hope that you are feeling open and that your body, the neck and shoulders and chest are feeling this energy of expansion, and that there is softening and release still occurring through your body. And giving yourself permission, your body permission to continue to release and surrender and make room for expansion in all areas of your life. Thank you, yogis, for practicing with me. Namaste.